Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Ryan. So today I want to talk about something a little different. It's about how to get to Japan, but it's kind of a guide for those of you who may not have a university degree. Now, before I came to Japan, I was looking up, how to get to Japan, how to, work in Japan, study in Japan, all these things. So there are actually some options for you guys who are probably not going to graduate university, or for some of those who just maybe university is not for you, but you really want to come here. So first thing I want to talk about is working holiday visa. So a working holiday visa is basically, it depends on what country you're from. So for example, I'm from Canada. They have a working holiday visa program for those living in, I believe it's Canada, Korea, I think Taiwan, Australia, New Zealand, and I believe Germany and some other European countries. Now, if your country is part of this working holiday visa program, you can come to Japan for 6 months to, depending on your country, you could extend it up to a year and a half. And this would basically allow you to just come here, work here for a year. Now, this isn't for working in a company full-time. You'll need a different visa for this. But if you just want to come here, live here for like a year or so, and just work part-time and have fun in Japan, that's an option for you guys as well. Now, the next thing I want to talk about here is about, okay, now what if you want to stay here more long-term, right? Well, there is one other option I would like to talk about. Now, when I was looking online how to get to Japan, how to work here, how to study here, it was all about just, you need a university, you can't, if you don't have a university, you can't come here. But then I started finding some things on Japanese language schools. And so, in the case of a Japanese language school, now, you are able to come here on a student visa for up to 2 years and study at a Japanese language school. And while you are studying here, you are able to work up to 28 hours a week part-time to kind of help cover some of your expenses. Now, I'm not going to lie, you should have the money set up for your school tuition. Depending on the school, it's not going to be too expensive, so you don't have to pay international fees or anything. Usually language schools about, like 800,000, 900,000 yen. That works out to about $8,000, $9,000. So that's one other option. Now, you should have that money prepared beforehand before coming here. As far as living expenses, you should have some savings away, but you could also, pay most of your living expenses by working part-time here as well. So that is one option. Now, yes, granted, compared to having a BA and coming here to teach English, you do need a little bit more money, but that is an option. If you do not have university education and you want to come here, that is one option to go to school here. You can do that for 2 years. Now, after those 2 years, what you can do is, now let's say you want to move on to higher education, to maybe work, in Japan down the line. So if you do already have your BA from a university in your country, and you do know enough Japanese, you are able to get into graduate school to study for your master's here in Japan, and there's a whole bunch of options for that. But today I kind of want to focus more on the people who have not graduated university yet. So one other option you do have is actually maybe, hey, university wasn't your thing in your country, but you want to, you're good at Japanese, and you want to stay here, you want to study here. You could go to university in Japan and attend a Japanese university for 4 years and get your BA here. Now, you do need a certain level of Japanese. However, if you are dedicated and willing to work hard, it is possible to get to that level in the 2 years that you spend here. Now granted, I would recommend you study some basic Japanese before going into the 2 years for your language school education, but yeah, if you are willing to work hard, it's definitely possible to go to university here, and you don't pay international fees like some other countries. You actually pay a little bit less than a Japanese citizen in a lot of situations. They also have a ton of different scholarships for international students, so that can help you out a lot. Now, let's say you're in this situation of, okay, well, university is too expensive, even if it is a little bit cheaper for foreigners. Yeah, it is going to cost you some money, to tell you the truth. But let's say, okay, you don't have the money for university, or you just don't want to spend 4 years in school, or if you include the language school, it could be 6. Okay, so let's say you want to move to, let's say, 2 years language school, or let's say you already know enough Japanese. Then what you can do is go for something called a Senmon Gakko. Now, I didn't really know about this until I got here, but there are a ton of Senmon Gakkos in Japan that will take foreign students. Now, a Senmon Gakko is a vocational school, basically like a 2-year college. It's more to study certain technical skills for a job. That is an option if you want to go to Senmon Gakko for 2 years. Now, once you've graduated a Senmon Gakko, then you can start looking for a job in Japan. So, basically in Japan, like, even if you have an employer that wants to hire you and they don't really care that, hey, whether you graduated from university or not, maybe you just graduated high school and they want to hire you, that's awesome, but the government's very strict with handing out visas in those situations. It's so rare that even if the employer wants to hire you, the government would give you a visa. It's so rare. So you will need some kind of education for that. I would say Senmon Gakko, it's really just 2 years. Once you graduate, you can, there are a lot of employers that are in companies that are interested in hiring foreigners that do know a certain amount of Japanese and some technical skills. So, basically, moral of the story is, yes, it is possible to come here without university and just study Japanese or even work here. But in that situation, you're going to need a lot of Japanese. So if you're not really sure, you're not really that into going to university in your country, but you are willing to put in the time and effort to study a lot of Japanese, then yeah, this might be a good option for you. So yeah, you don't, depending on what university, I don't know, it is possible to just get into a university with Japanese. Now, there are most universities will require that you take the EJU. Sometimes they only require a Japanese grade, but sometimes they will require you take kind of like a social studies history course, maybe some basic math, but there are also universities that'll just take you with your Japanese skills as well. So that might be an option for some of you guys. Yeah, sorry if this video was a little bit long, but I really felt that this video had to get made because there isn't really a lot of information on the web about this. There's some, but I just wanted to just get it out there and say, hey, maybe university is great, but I know it's not for everyone. So maybe if it didn't work out for you in your country, but you are interested in Japan, you do want to study Japanese, you do want to work, go into a language school and go into a Senmon Gakko. That's another option too. So I just want to say thank you very much for watching this, and yeah, hopefully this helped, inspired, motivated you to maybe take that step further to coming here. So I just want to say thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimashita. And hope to see you again soon. Alright, take care guys, bye.